ሃይ ተማሪዎች እንደምን አላችሁ? ዛሬ application of equations and inequalities የሚለውን እናያለን። We will discuss about equations and inequalities. You know, if you consider this example, one number is 7 more than the other number, then the sum of the two is 71 and find the numbers. If that's so, what is that? Let it be what? Let it be x and y be what? Y be the two numbers. Be the two numbers. What the relationship between them? It is given that one number is what? 7 more than. So let it be y is equals what? X plus what? 7. And the sum of the number means what? Their sum. That means x plus y must be what? Equal to 71, it says. So from this, the first one, it says y is equals x plus 7, yes? So we insert x plus 7 instead of y here. So this becomes what? X plus 7, which is equals what? 71. What does it imply? This implies what? 2x plus 7, which is equals 71. Take 7 to the right side, it becomes what? 2x is equals 71 minus 7 is what? That is 64. So to find x, divide both sides by 2. What the value of x? X is equal to 32. One number is that is 32. What about y? Y is equals what? X plus 7, we said, which is equal to, that is 39. So therefore the numbers are what? The numbers are the two numbers. We asked her to find the two numbers. So the numbers are that is 32 and 39. This is one application of this is equation is with equation here. The next example says that a father is now 3 times as old as what? His son. If that's so, we want to find what the relationship between what? Father's and his son's age. That means, let's say f is equals father's age. Age now. Similarly, let S indicate what? Son's age. Now. If that's so, now the father age is what? 3 times as old as his son. This implies what? This f is equals 3 times his son. 10 years ago, he was 5 times as old as his son is. 10 years means what? If F and S indicates what? The age of father and his son now. So 10 years ago means what? Before 10 years. Therefore, we subtract what? 10 from what? Father. As well as we subtract 10 from what? His son. But at this time, 10 years ago, he was what? 5 times as old as. So we take here what? 5 times. So the relationship between them is equals to 5 times this one. After that, here we have what? One equation. Here we have the other equation. We insert the first equation or substitute f by 3s. This implies what? This is 3s minus is 10 is equal to what? 5s minus what? This is 15. Collect like term. This means what? 3s minus what? This is 5s is equal to negative 15 plus what? This is 10. When you take negative 10 to the right side, it becomes plus. 3s minus 5s is what? That is negative 2s, which is equal to negative 15 plus 10 is what? That is negative 14. So what the age of the son? That means divide by negative 2, both sides, divide by negative 2. S is equals what? This is 20. So the age of his son is what? 20 years old now. If that's so, what is the father's age now? Since the relationship between the age of father is equals what? 3 times what? S, which is equals 3 times of what? That is 20 years. This implies what? This is 60 years old. So the age of his father and his son are what? 60 years and 20 years respectively. Therefore, the age of the father is equal to 60 years old And similarly, the age of his son is what? 20 years old. We can solve like this. So still we apply what? That means what? Equations. Equations. Similarly, a train leaves a station and travels what? At the rate of this 40 km per hour. 2 hours later, a second train leaves the station and travels at the rate of 60 km per hour. Where will the second train overtake the first? You know, we have to compare and contrast the speed of the two trains. That means if this moves 60 km per hour, that means it needs what? Less time compared to what? The previous one. The first train to reach what? Some places, yes? Since its speed is higher than what? The first one, the first train. If that's so, we know that the distance S1 for the first train is equal to what? V1, the speed for this times what? Times the time taken. Which is equal to what? Which is equal to 40 km per hour times what? Time taken, T. T indicates what? The time it travels to cover the distance, S. Similarly, for the distance for S2 is equal to what? The speed of this the second train time 2, time T. T in our case what? 2 hours later means what? The time is what? T minus what? 2 from the previous one. Which is equal to 60 km per hour times what? T minus 2. To overtake this, the distance must be what? The same. Since the second train overtakes the first one. This implies what? This implies that S1 must be what? Is equals what? The same distance S2 with the time interval T. If that's so, this means what? 40T times T is equals what? 16 times what? T minus 2. Here we have 0. We can cancel what? 0 by 0 since, both sides. This is by 4 by 2. This is 2. This is by 2, which is equal to 3. This means what? Twice T is equals what? 3 into T minus 2. Well, distribute this 3 times T minus 2, which is equals what? Twice T is equal to 3T minus here is 6. So collect like terms, variables together. This means twice T minus 3 times T is equals what? Negative 6, yes? Which is what? Negative of T is equals negative 6. The time is what? It is always positive divided by negative 1 divided by negative 1. This implies the time T is equals to 6 hours. If that's so, where will the second train overtake? We want to find what? The distance S. What the distance? The distance is from this S is equals S1 is equals S2, which is equal to S, let's say this is 40 km per hour times what? This is 6 hours. But the value which is equal to 240 km. So to overtake this one, it needs or moves what? 240 km. You can use also at the second stage. Here you have the same value you get. That means what? 60 into the time T is what? That is 6. 6 minus 2, which is equals what? 60 km per hour. Yes, this is times what? 6 minus 2, that is what? 4 hours. We cancel hour by hour, what we have? The same result, 240 kilometers. So to overtake this one, it travels 240 kilometers. Now let us consider this is a basketball shoot from a height of what? 60 meters. Initial upward velocity of 8 meters per second. The height of the basketball is given as ht and it has such forms. This becomes what? A quadratic equation. With the coefficient of the leading is what? Leading coefficient is negative. This means what? It has a maximum height since it opens what? Downward. Downward. If that's so, when you take this one, what form? Let's take here is negative 2t square plus here is 8t plus what? This is 6, which is equal to, take negative 2 common. What? Which is equals t square minus 40. Here is plus what? Plus or minus, that is minus. This is minus. It is minus 3. After that, we have to apply what? Completing square method. completing square. To find what? The vertex. The vertex is what? The turning point that we want to find. Here we have what? Which implies negative 2 into t squared minus 4t minus what? This is minus 40 means what? Half of negative 4 is what? That is 2. Square it. Negative 2 squared, that is plus 4. Plus 4. Here is minus the same number. Minus 4. Minus 3. Here what? What does imply? This implies what? This is negative 2. If we take this one together, it becomes what? This becomes t minus what? T minus 2 the whole square. Here, negative 4 minus 3 is what? This is negative 7. When it comes to here, we distribute what? Negative 2 in both cases. Which implies what? Which implies negative 2 into t minus 2 the whole square. Negative 2 times negative 4 is what? That is plus, that is 40. What over here? This implies what? It is easily verified that the vertex is what? The vertex is equivalent to what? This is 2, comma, that is 40. What does imply? T, that means 2 indicates what? The time taken. That is t is equals what? That is 2 seconds. 2 seconds. The height that it travels, or maximum height it has what? That is what? 14 meters. 14 meters. Let us consider the next example. Here we have 2 types of product, A and B. Sells them a profit of what? 2 on type A and 3 for type B. Each product is processed onto machines. That means machine G and what? Machine H. Type A requires what? That means here we have what? Machines. Machines. Here we have what? Types of products. Type of product, that is A and B. Machine is what? That is what? G and what? H. The machines here we have. Here we have the 2 machines. So type A requires 1 hour processing on, this is on G, and 2 hours for what? H. Similarly, the product of B requires what? 1 hour for both machines. The machine is available for not more than 6 hours means what? Not more than means what? It is less than or equal what? 6. Similarly, availability for H is what? Less than or equals what? That is 10. So here is time constraint. Or availability of this time is what? This is 6. This one is 10. That let what? Let X be what? B number of what? Product of type B. A. Products of type what? Type A. Similarly, let it be Y be what? Number of product of what? Type what? Type B. Type B. That's so what it looks like. The equation or the inequality looks like. Since it is to maximize profit, if it is profit, we'll try to maximize profit. Yes? So profit equation becomes what? Which is equals twice of X plus 3 times Y. Since it gets what? 2 birr on each type of product A and 3 birr on each type of product B. So if the number of what? Product A is X, so we multiply by 2. Since 2 indicates for what? 1 product. 3 indicators were for product of what? 1 type B. If you have Y number of product of type B, you have to multiply what? 3 times Y. So our aim is what? To maximize this product. Maximize our profit. Subject to the constraint. That is the time taken for both product in case of machine G is must be what? Less than or equal what? 6. So machine G, it works processing 1 hour for type A, 1 hour for type B. So their sum must be less than or equals what? 6. This is time constraint. x plus y is less than or equals what? This is 6. Similarly, when it comes to the second one, since machine A product that is type A product needs what? 2 hours for processing on machine H, and type B requires what? 1 hour. So their sum must be what? Less than or equal 10. Since here we have x number of product type A, y number of product type B, therefore 2y's of x plus y must be less than or equals 10. This is twice of x plus y is less than or equals 10. Lastly, x must be what? Greater or equal 0, y also greater or equal 0. Since it is number of product must be what? Greater or equal 0. It is non-negative since it is real world problem. If that's so, we call this is what? The linear programming problem that we want to drive. After obtaining this one, how can you find the number of products that gives maximum profit? Use graphical method. To use this one, let's try to make this one equal sign. That means this becomes what? X plus y is equal 6. Similar, this one is what? 2x plus y is equals what? That is 10. And let's use x and y intercept to sketch the graph of this problem. Let's try to use graphical method. So when y is 0, the value of x is what? That is 6. When x is 0, the value of y is what? That is 6. So since it is less than or equal, it includes all points on the line. Use what? This bold line. Since 0, 0 is what? On this side, that means in one side of what? This line. Check it whether it satisfies or not. 0 plus 0 is what? Here we have 0 plus 0 is less than or equal 6. Yes, it is true or false? It is true. So we shade it on this region. The region this satisfies what? Here is the region that we want to find. Which implies x plus y is less than or equals what? This is 6. Similarly, for the case of the second one, when y is 0, the value of x is what? That is 5, yes? 5, let's consider somewhere this is 5. When x is 0, the value of y is what? That is 10. Let's consider 10 is somewhere this. Still, it is less than or equals. Since it consists all points on the line, use what? A solid line. Here we go. This is line is equal to 2x plus y is equals 10. To check whether this shaded on this region or on the opposite side, let's try to take a still 0, 0. We take 0 plus 0. 0 plus 0 is less than or equals 10. Yes, it is true. Is that so? We shaded on this region. On this region. The other thing that we consider is that x is greater or equal 0. X greater or equal 0 means what? On this side. The other one is y is greater or equals what? Y is also greater or equal above x-axis. So the region which is common for all is what? This region. Satisfies what? All the properties. That means overlapped region or the intersection of them is this region. When you consider this region, what for? You have to take the corner points. The corner point here is what? This is 0 with 6. Corner point here is what? H is equal to what? This is 5 with what? 0. The other corner point here is what? This is 0, 0. The other one, we'll try to find this intersection point. How can we find this one? By solving what? This system of what? Linear equation. We make it this linear equation. Since here we have what? The coefficient y is positive 1, here also positive 1, so we can take the difference of them to cancel y. This means 2x minus x is what? Which is equal to x. Y minus y, that is 0. 10 minus 6, which is equal to 4. The value of x is equals 4. What about y? Y is equal to, if I substitute here, this is 6 minus x, which is equivalent to 6 minus 4 is equivalent to 2. So this intersection point is, this is x is 4 and y is 1, that is 2. Obtained this one. After that, by taking these corner points, here we have a corner point, here we have values of what? Values of our profit. Can consider here. So the corner point that we take, what's that? That means when it is 0, 0, 0, 0, insert 0, 0 here is 2 times 0 is what? 0 plus 3 times 0 is 0, then the value here is 0. The other point we take what? 5 and 0. When x is 5, the value of y that is 0, insert here. 2 times 5 is what? That is 10. 3 times 0 is what? 0. The value is what? This is 10. We'll take the next one is what? 4 and 2. Here is x is 4, this is 2. That means the intersection of what? The two lines. 2 times 4, that is 8, plus 3 times 2 is what? 6. 8 plus 6 is, that is what? 14 is, this is 40. Last one, the last corner you have what? 0 and 6. You have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. So here is what? 0 and 6. By substitute 0 in x, 2 times 0, that is 0, plus 3 times 6 is what? That is 18. After that, you'll try to compare and contrast the values. 18 is the maximum value. Its maximum profit is what? Maximum profit is equal to what? That is 18 birr. What are the products? That means it produces what? The company produces what? That means 60 products of B, but no production of what? Of product A. ስለዚህ ፕሮዲዩስ ያደረገው ምንድነው? ቢን 6 አምርቷል። ነገር ግን no product of what? ታይፕ A የለም ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ማክሲመም ፕሮፊት የሰጠው ቢን በማምረት no need of what? producing type A. ታይፕ A ማምረት አይጠበቅበትም ማለት ነው። በዚህ መንገድ ሶልቭ ማድረግ እንችላለን ማለት ነው። we use apply system of what? linear inequalities